I'm tired and I want to go out and eat food. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What are you gonna eat? Anything specific?
Thinking a burger, but I'm not sure. Either that or Thai food.
That's pretty American for a Canadian, don't you think?
I'm on the West Coast. It's pretty American. I mean,
Okay.
our food's pretty American. It just has less diversity. It's higher quality ingredients, but almost everything is just pub food with too much cheese
Uh-oh.
on it.
I think my stream just froze.
Did it?
Yeah. If that's the case, I don't really care. I'm not gonna restart it. They'll just come over.
Okay, that's fine. Feel free to rip the VOD from here if you want.
Word. Thank you.
No worries. So what do you want to talk about?
Okay. So people tell me I have a tendency to not be able to stick to anything. So I'm trying to keep some notes to keep myself on track. I do, before I forget, want to start by saying kudos on all the dubs you've been taking lately.
I've been taking dubs lately.
Oh yeah, everywhere. It's been fun to watch.
I'll take your word for it. Thank you.
Oh, you don't take my word. The community has spoken. And that being said, though, you're quite the man of integrity and high moral character. But I guess why would you say that Vosh should lie about his fascination with the equine behind? That just because he's a lonely man looking for laying with a Shetland pony, he dreams of a galleon from a stallion and to feel the wang of a stang. He just wanted to buck a bronco and give some head to Mr. Ed. Why won't you just let him enjoy his life?
Yeah, I can tell you had to write that down.
I did.
I didn't say he should lie. I would say he shouldn't lie.
I just thought that was fun. I wasn't gonna fuck you on that.
All right.
So what was your take on that ultimately?
My take on that? Oh God, I've got like 4 hours covering it.
Okay,
at this point.
okay. If it's
just putting it very quickly. Oh, you've disappeared again. Still
no,
with
it's
me?
okay. I just had to. Yeah, there you go.
It looks bad. If there's an angle where he can claim ignorance of the content that was on his computer, which is metaphysical possibility, then he should go that route if that is indeed the case. Otherwise, it's a series of very stupid decisions: downloading the material, searching it in the first place, downloading the material, playing around with his files on stream while that's on his work computer, having stuff like that on his work computer at all, even if it was regular pornography. That's like, come on, man.
Right.
It's
I
just,
can agree
it's
with
just,
that.
and then afterwards, once it's up, like, and once people are like, railing at you for it, don't try to lash back, especially when the person going after you is a channel many times your size. Like, be the nice kid. Try to solicit a conversation where you can make your case, because, and my reason for saying that is because whether he's as bad as the stuff makes him look, or he's not, it's just a horrible series of misunderstandings and mistakes and accidents. It's easier to figure that out in either direction if he's not getting pummeled with, people being willing to not interrogate it too closely because he himself has not earned that charity because he's gone after people in an equally uncharitable way. And I have no argument for people who choose to do so. Just on the off chance someone's like, hey, do we actually care about this being airtight? I've got a few questions that I would want answered first, but I would absolutely never advise him to lie.
I thought I didn't watch that much of it. I was trying to catch up, but the thing of constantly admitting you haven't seen something and then having a solid stance because chat told you he said something is probably not very wise to react to chat's version of what Ethan said.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah. Vosh said he didn't watch it.
He didn't watch
right?
what? Oh, the Ethan thing.
Yeah, correct.
Right. Yeah.
And but he kept responding to things that were said that he didn't see, and it was just like people in chat telling him what was said.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, if he was responding to what they were saying in chat, I don't. What's the interest?
No, he was responding about how he felt about Ethan doing those things, but he didn't actually see them. Just chat did it.
Okay.
It's not that important. I'm not going to argue.
Well, that's I I think streaming that day was a mistake.
Yeah, okay, we agree on that.
Okay.
All right, so what I wanted to
One
talk
sec,
about...
serious.
Okay.
You're getting free theory. Stop complaining. We're just doing this conversation first. It's free. The meter didn't fill.
Free theory.
Free theory.
Okay, so what I wanted to talk about is now that Wu is gone, we talked 3 months ago, and my concern wasn't really about Wu, but it's impossible to talk about without talking about Wu, so it becomes a little distracting. Now that Wu's gone, what do you think of what's going on with PV and the streamers?
I think they're a bunch of dumb kids who don't know what they're doing. It's simple as that. What do you think?
Would I be correct to assume they didn't approach you when they approached everybody else?
Yeah, but that's probably because most of the people who were approached because of Wu's recommendations.
That's what I meant, because of your relationship.
And I beefed with Wu. I beefed with Wu before she was involving everybody with Progressive Victory. So
that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, I'm conjecturing, but I think it's a reasonable inference.
Am I right that you were gonna do something to expose Wick in September before he came out and said something?
Expose Wick in September for what?
That you were going to put out information about Wick being paid by PV, and then he put it out. That's the argument I've heard on a stream.
No. Wick being
disclosure.
Hang on. Wick being paid by PV isn't a secret, right?
Well, no. Okay, so Wick did the stream, or Wick made a disclosure in September. The first and only time until now, until recently, that he disclosed the relationship. But the accusation was made. I think it was on J-Stock's stream. The accusation was made that he only did that disclosure under duress from you.
Yeah, I don't know if somebody said that. I clearly missed it. I've never considered it a scandal that Wick is paid by PV. I think it's a scandal that money is wasted on PV, but I don't think I never said it was a secret.
Well, regardless of a scandal, was it accurate that
he disclosed
that Wick
his
was
funds?
Aware you were going to do something?
I don't know what he could possibly have been aware I was going to do. I didn't threaten anything like that.
Okay.
The only finances that I had like privy information to, and that was for a brief period, was just the and I don't even know if it was privy. That was just how much he was given for the 2 panels on contraception that he did. The
rebellion ones. That was July,
but that's not PV though. That's the PAC.
That was rebellion. That was July.
I think so. I can't remember.
Yeah, and then Chud did the stream with Brianna where she was mad at you.
Yeah.
And then she was afraid of TOS, and then it changed to PV.
Yeah.
And then in September, Wick.
Yeah. So like just to pin that for a second, if Wick is switching to being paid through PV as a contractor, say, right, as opposed to being paid by a PAC, because
right.
PV is more than one organization.
Yep.
Then Wick being paid by PV is precisely not a secret. That the entire reason for him being paid by PV is because that's above board. That's safer than being paid through Brianna's PAC, if indeed that was ever the plan. And I suspect, given the fact that they had a whole bunch of people on this.
When you say above board, how, like, what do you mean?
I mean, it doesn't create any complications by violating the TOSs of the platforms that they're doing their work on. I don't think there's any reason.
They're not getting paid for the work. I thought they were getting paid for the meetings.
They're getting paid for the meetings on paper. That I think is the reason why they're getting paid. But like, I'm
how's that above board? How's it above board that they're saying legal. They're getting paid for a meeting and we know it's not true? Like they left Rebellion Pack where Rebellion Pack said we're paying for this thing.
Yeah.
To PV where PV says we're not paying for this thing, but we all know they are. That's less above board than when Rebellion did it.
No, by above board I mean it's legal.
Proper, appropriate. It was legal when Rebellion Pack did it. It just was TOS.
Okay, I really don't want to have to take this angle on this, but what is specifically inappropriate about them being paid for the meetings besides the fact that it's a waste of money?
I didn't say it was inappropriate. I said it's not true.
What's not true?
They're not getting paid for the meetings.
I'm pretty sure they were explicit they're being paid for the meetings. This is what everyone said for PV.
Okay, so when Kid Not Kin said if they don't do the content, they get free money. But if they do the content, they get more money, and the more reach they get, the higher.
No. You're confused. So what Kid Not Kin was saying, there's not like a pay scale thing. What happens though is there's a de facto situation that emerges because people are entangled with each other's channels through PV. So, for example, you're incentivized to do content that
incentivized meaning money, right?
Well, yes, but not from PV. So what you're incentivized by, like the way you can benefit from PV as a creator, is by networking with larger creators. And so there's an incentive for smaller creators to start making content that, you know, encourages more interaction with these larger creators. And by the same token, interactions that discourage content that discourages interactions with those larger creators, like maybe that attacks, for example, counterpoints as politics say. Well, that's gonna cause friction within the organization. That's gonna hurt you. Like that's basically all Kid Not Kin is talking about. What his worry was that by being a smaller creator working with PV, he would be feeling financial pressure, not from like the actual writ of the contract he's signing, but just by the situation. He would be feeling financial pressure to make content that either like appealed to the other people in the organization or that didn't, for example, attack the opinions of people like Counterpoints, IRI, etc. Whoever's like big in the org.
So what you're saying is Kid turned down free money to not do content.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to do content.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So he turned down free money.
Yeah. Because all they're being...
what you're saying is the free money that he turned down because he has morals and integrity is what's above board.
Yes.
So if it's above board and you have morals and integrity, why would you turn it down?
Because he didn't want to be in a situation where he was incentivized to make content that didn't reflect his actual beliefs and values.
I mean, the words you're using are different, but like what you're saying is these people, if they want to make more money, they know what content to do, and they know who to talk to, and they know who to work together with, so that they can manipulate their community in this fake organic thing, and they can get people to give them money under bullshit. Where am I wrong?
Can you say that one more time?
There are a number of creators that have created a multi-channel network.
Yes.
That the more they work together in a secret multi-channel network without the community knowing, the more eyeballs they get,
that's everybody though. I've got secret multi-channel networks. I've got people in my server who get creator roles, and I give them tips sometimes, or I like.
Are they getting paid by a political organization with free money?
No.
Okay, so
not to my knowledge.
The idea that you're going to sit here and argue that free money is a normal fucking thing, like that is as retarded as it gets. Tell me where else everybody can give free money just for free money's sake, with no obligation.
Well, it's not free.
Obviously fucking not.
Yes, but here's the part that you're misunderstanding. The reason why and I'm confused as to why you're misunderstanding this. The reason why these people were involved was because the decision to include them was not based on some pragmatic organizer's idea of what would benefit the organization Progressive Victory. They were picked because these were people who would help promote Brianna Wu's personality on their channels.
Well, what are they doing now?
The conditions of their involvement were very, very poorly outlined and very poorly thought through.
And now what? They're still doing it, right? They're not working with Brianna Wu. They're still
because they didn't fire everybody with Brianna Wu, clearly.
Well, so then this had nothing to do with Wu. Somebody else created.
But it did though. What I'm saying is there's not a conspiracy in PV. What happened was people were brought on with very vague conditions for benefiting from the org because of Brianna Wu's influence, and then once she left, that obviously continued. But that's basically all there is to it.
So they only did it because of Wu, but they're still there doing it.
Well, because they're all contracted. They didn't just because they got rid of Wu for whatever reason. God only knows what that is. Doesn't mean they're going to fire everybody or suddenly like change their entire program. That doesn't make any sense.
What percentage of this small community do you think knows every streamer that works with PV that they watch?
I have no idea.
So when they watch a WIC panel,
Yeah.
and you've got Connor, Erudite, Destiny, whoever.
Yeah.
Do all the people watching that channel know that those people secretly meet and discuss how to best present the information they're going to discuss on the show?
I mean, I would assume that's kind of a given, right? Like
It's a given that Connor is going to get together with the lefty and discuss the best ways to argue the thing they're going to argue on a panel. That's normal to you?
Well, that's what they've said explicitly. I think it's a bad decision. Once again, like, my issue with PV is that it seems to be very mismanaged, but I don't think there's anything particularly, like, I don't think there's a sinister plot behind the scenes.
All right. So if that's the case, there's a lot of people that don't have NDAs, right? So, like,
Sure.
You guys talk a lot. A lot of people were invited that didn't go. Some people, like Kid, went and then turned it down.
What do you mean by you guys talk a lot? Who are you referring to?
I mean, the community. All of you guys.
But who's you guys? I'm not part of
I
any
mean, do you
community
talk to
anymore.
Reservoir? Do you talk
No.
to Kid?
Like, maybe once a month?
Okay. So, when I say you guys, all right, let me take you out of that.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't mean to make it personal. You guys in general, but okay. So, when Kin Not Kin
Yeah.
hears somebody talk about progressive victory
Yeah.
in January,
Uh-huh.
why doesn't he come out and tell us then what was going on at the meetings? Why does he say it's nothing instead of just telling us what was going on?
Well, because it sounds like there was really nothing going on at the meetings. Like, they were kind of boring. It seems like he went to two. The first one, very little happened. The second one, they brought out the NDAs. He didn't sign one, so he didn't attend anymore.
If I gave you $100 right now, would that be boring?
No, do it.
So if Kid was going to get free money, that wasn't boring.
Oh, that wasn't a serious offer? Damn.
Well, I mean, it's as serious as it was the answers I'm getting here.
I'm being pretty serious. I'm not entirely sure what you're trying to drive at.
Well, there's a big open secret in the community
Okay.
that a number of content creators
Yeah.
were trying to obfuscate what you were looking at, what Kuiman was looking at, what I was looking at. They have no NDA, but they had a vested interest in helping protect the bag of people that they think are doing something nefarious. There's no way anybody here, especially
I don't think any of these people think they're doing something nefarious. Hey, look, if anyone's going to think they're doing something nefarious, it's going to be me, and I just think they're dumb.
You have a political organization giving away free money. Okay, that's normal. We're just going to call that normal.
Well, it's really normal. The only thing that's abnormal about it is that they're giving it to streamers, which is an unwise investment. But beyond that, like, that's what those organizations do.
The streamers
right?
when they do the content.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Like PACs pay for things like advertisement, right? They pay for commercials and whatnot. Well, when they do that, they hire contractors out to produce those things. The only difference here is they've hired streamers.
So
no, they haven't hired them on paper to produce things. They've hired them on paper to come and discuss at meetings, I guess, with the presumed benefit of we'll have a bunch of, like, really well mentally prepared political streamers to, win the election for Biden or something. But that's fine. It's stupid, but it's fine.
Since Kid Not Kin said that I'm just a conspiracy theorist, maybe you can ask him at some point. When he said the streamers that are bigger streamers, they're on a different pay tier for their content than everybody else. What did he mean by that? Do you know?
Well, I would presume he means that the amount they're contracted for is higher than the smaller streamers. So maybe there's
based on.
Well, I would assume based on audience size. Probably pretty arbitrarily. Like, it's probably they just thought, ooh, Lonerbox won't accept any less than, but Wick, we can give Wick $1,000 because what's he going to do otherwise? That kind of thing.
So it has nothing to do with the size of their audience and their influence.
I think it has everything to do with the size of their audience and their influence.
So they're getting paid for their content.
No, they're
not getting paid to consult with their opinion in a meeting.
But
their pay scale is based on their influence.
Yeah, but
not their influence.
No, but slow down.
In the meeting.
I think you're misunderstanding something. Their pay being based upon their influence. Being based upon their channel size and their audience and so on and so forth. That doesn't mean that they have a chart somewhere where they go, okay, if you have this many people in your audience, we're going to pay you this much. you have this many people in your audience, we're going to pay you this much. What it actually means is when they wrote up their contracts, they made offers. And they accepted offers, and they made bigger offers for bigger streamers and smaller offers for smaller streamers, with the understanding that for the smaller streamers, a smaller amount of money is going to be more than it is for the bigger streamers, because the bigger streamers have more money.
So it had nothing to do with the value of those streamers to the pack.
It had everything to do with it.
Well, what's the value differentiation between Wick and Vosh?
Vosh can reach a lot of people. Wick can reach no people.
But they're getting paid to consult at a meeting.
Yeah.
What's that got to do with reach?
It has nothing to do with reach.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So they're getting paid based.
But hang on. They can.
But they're getting paid. They're getting paid based on the reach, but they're getting paid to consult, not for their reach.
No. They're being paid differently based on your reach. Does not mean that there's some strange discrepancy if they're paid nonetheless to do the same task, right? So let's say they were actors. Okay, they were actors and they were paid to be part of a cool little sit-down talk table where famous people chat with each other, and a few people are from, like, you know, they're YTV extras, and some of them are, like, you know, Hollywood stars.
No,
the Hollywood stars are going to be paid more. The YTV
Sunday,
extras are going to be paid less, but they're going to be doing the same thing.
Let
right?
me try to TLDR this again for you. So
sure.
They're randomly not on a direct pay plan with a business opportunity, right? But the reason the pay differential was initiated and negotiated by the company was based on the reach, an equation between negotiating and the reach of the streamer, correct?
I'm not clear that there was ever a negotiation. The only thing we know...
But as you said earlier, they're paid based on their reach.
I would assume they're paid differently based on their reach. I don't know their individual pay.
Okay. Then tell me how when they go to a meeting, there is a difference between one person's opinion to help the place figure out how to move forward. If all they're doing is giving their
there isn't one, but it's irrelevant.
So they're not getting paid to go to a meeting. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they are being paid to go to a meeting. That's the terms of their contract. However, what determined how much they offer those streamers was determined by how much value they thought they would bring by being involved, period. So this is the way it works on paper.
So they're not based on the value they give to the organization with their opinion. But they're consulting.
No,
they're consultants. The
attending the meetings is
no. Wick keeps saying consulting. Let's just call it what he calls it.
Who are
Wick
they?
Says he's a consultant, and that's why he goes to the meetings.
Yeah, but
because
Wick's a moron. Why Wick didn't even read his fucking contract? Why would we assume that anything he says is any value?
Why would you assume the guy we're talking about is not telling the truth?
Wick?
And yeah,
because he hasn't read his own contract. I don't think he's read his own. I don't think he has any idea what's even in his NDA.
Okay, fine. So Connor says he's getting paid because he gives them advice on the opposition.
Sure.
Is he getting paid for his advice?
Well, I think the argument was actually that the justification for including a conservative would be that he has advice on the opposition, not that he's being paid specifically for advice on the opposition. That's just to justify having somebody who seems to be politically at odds with the.
So he's not getting paid for his participation at the meeting. It's for something else.
No, he's being paid for his participation at the meeting.
No, he's being paid for
attendance. His attendance and participation. You're correct.
No.
But his attendance. But his attendance at the meeting is what he's being paid for on paper. If he contributes there,
this is you saying this is above board right now.
It is above board. It's not required.
So how many of your jobs have you gotten paid for something that's not what you're doing? So you get paid to say you're doing this, but you're actually doing a completely different job. That's what they're paying you for, and it's above board to be like, we pay him to wash the vehicles, but actually we pay you to deliver the pizzas.
Well, no, they involve them because they do things for them, but the justification for their pay, like the mechanism by which they justify paying, is attendance at the meetings.
So when somebody says, like Connor, I'm getting paid because of the value I bring to the meeting, that's a lie.
No, it's not a lie.
So they're getting paid for the value at the meeting, their input. They're not getting paid for attending. They're getting paid for the consulting.
You can describe the identical situation in multiple ways. So, for example, We paid Connor to attend the meeting. Well, hang on, why did you pay Connor? Well, we paid Connor to attend the meeting because he brings X, Y, and Z perspectives, and we think that'll make the meetings better. That doesn't make the first... No, but that doesn't make... You can call it a contribution, but that doesn't make the first sentence wrong.
Well, can I call it... If he doesn't contribute and he gets paid, what's he getting paid for?
Attending the meeting.
So it's not his contribution. It can't be he's getting paid to attend it.
No,
but he's not getting paid to attend it. He's getting paid for his contribution.
You're missing the distinction here. Okay, you can ask the same question and mean multiple things. Once again, why are you paying Connor to? Why is Connor being paid when he attends the meetings? Well, he's being paid when he attends the meetings because that's the condition of getting paid as per his contract. Okay. Well, why are you paying Connor as opposed to someone else to attend the meetings? Well, we're paying Connor to attend the meetings. We reached out to him because he has perspectives that we want to, like, inflect what we do. God knows why. I disagree with that, but
based on what you just said,
yes,
if he attends the meeting and doesn't speak and he stops doing content altogether, he still gets paid.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So he doesn't have to say a word. He just clicks into a meeting and he gets free money from a political organization. And the question is, what's the problem?
Well, the problem,
if that's all the
problem is that
there's nothing left to do.
Well, the problem is it's a waste of funds, right?
No, it's more than that. Why are they lying to you? In Connor's case,
why
are they lying to you if it's a waste of funds?
What's the lie? You got to be careful with this. If you're gonna accuse people of lying specifically, you need to have like these specific thing that they say.
Now, it's funny that the rest of the community doesn't really need that standard, but I don't care about that. So Connor said both he gets paid as a consultant, not for his content. He gets paid for the contribution that he gives to the meetings, and he justified Wick's contribution when specifically asked why Wick gets paid. You said, why Wick? And he said, because he contributes to the meeting.
Yeah.
But you're saying if he doesn't contribute to the meeting and he doesn't do content, they're going to pay him.
Well, he didn't say that's why Wick. I don't think he really had a good why for Wick. But he said after the fact, when I asked him, does Wick contribute to the meetings, he said he does. But that wasn't given as part of justifying his contract or why he was at the meetings. That was just satisfying my curiosity about what happened at the meetings while he was there.
So, I mean, we're at an impasse because what you're saying is the same answer in different ways, just to make sure you don't have to face the point.
Face what point?
Scenario that if all these people quit doing content and didn't speak in the meeting, you're saying they'd all still get paid. And you're saying that makes sense. And
I'm sorry,
normal,
just to be clear, are you under the impression that I, who have been actively dissing and challenging PV members, annoying them for no reason, apparently on Twitter, are you suggesting that I have a vested interest in covering their asses?
I am suggesting that you are currently justifying that it is above board.
It is above board. There's nothing illegal.
Streamers are lying.
There's nothing illegal about paying someone to do nothing. There's nothing illegal about paying a lazy contractor.
I didn't say it was illegal. I said normal and above board.
It is normal and above board. I'm sorry to say it.
Okay. Just so you're on the record saying it's normal and above board for
it is abnormally stupid to pay the people they are paying, but it is normal and above board in its form.
So when in their agreements, it's my understanding that, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong because I don't have the agreement.
Yeah.
But it's my understanding PV, and I don't know if it's do they work for the LLC or the PAC?
I don't know. I would assume the LLC, but I have no idea.
Okay, so why would you were talking about donors giving money and paying Wick.
Well, the reason why I would assume the LLC is because Lycan said that donor money wasn't going to Connor. So I'm making the inference based on that they're being paid by the LLC, or at the very least.
So
Connor.
Where's the money for the LLC coming from?
I don't know.
So it's not about the PAC isn't the one funding this. It's some other organization where we can't track the money when they have a PAC.
I mean, presumably there is a way to track the money, but I have no idea. I haven't looked into it. But that's a different question, though. Now we're not talking about like why are they justifying paying these people or what are they paying them for and what
Well, I
they're
mean,
being
I
honest
asked.
about that.
You
Now
didn't
we're
pass
talking
the
about
simple,
what
easy
they're paying
one.
them with. What's
You
that?
really didn't pass the simple, easy one. Like
The simple, easy what? What are you talking
I mean,
about?
you're saying it is normal. I want to find somebody who says it is normal and above board for a political organization to pay people to do nothing.
Super, super normal, actually.
Then how come everybody in the community isn't out getting that money?
Because they didn't offer everybody the money. They offered people who
Well,
wanted
but
to.
I mean, they could just go out and
They offered people money who were friendly to Wu and to bigger
But if
people
it's
in the
normal,
org.
there's like these should be everywhere, right? Like,
Well, no.
I
Just
should be able to
because.
call a
Hang
bunch
on,
of
hang on.
organizations
Just because.
and ask for free money.
Well, no, because you have no value to them, right? Like so there's different
Free
ways to
money is
have.
free money.
There's different.
If there's a value, it's
But
not
it's not.
free.
But it's not endless. They have a budget, so they're not giving money to everyone. They're picking and choosing based on who
So if
they
they-
like for various reasons.
If they don't speak at the meeting and they don't do content, what value do they bring to the table?
Presumably nothing. But what the hell does that have to do with you?
Okay, so right now, bringing no value to the table, it's normal and above board to get paid for that. Okay, like I don't know what
Yes.
else to do.
Unless something illegal is going on that makes it like mismanaged and stupid. It's a waste of funds.
So
If you want to critique them as I do, my critique of them is that they claim to be for like a progressive victory and whatnot, but they're making decisions that seem to be more directed towards in inflating the vanity of the people involved and actually like helping
Well, do you know
politics
why?
in any way.
you know why that is?
No,
That's
enlighten
because
me.
that's the mission of the owner.
Is it? Well, what
The
a
stated
bastard.
mission of the owner.
Yeah.
The stated mission of the owner. He thinks he's Luffy. I'm not fucking around with you. The guy said, if you look at One Piece, then there's people on the outside fringes. On one side, you have the bad people like Steve Bannon, who, if you look, and I'm just saying what he said, if you look at Gamergate and you look at Charlottesville and you look at all these events, then they built this with like $6 billion and Bannon this alt-right pipeline. And those are the bad people. And I want to build something similar as the good people. So what I want to do is I want to get my way, like coercively sneak into communities so that I can ingratiate myself to the content
How do you
creators.
coercively sneak
It's
into
what
a
I'm
community?
just giving you his words.
That's a
I'm not-
quote. He said he's going to
Yeah,
coercively sneak
yeah.
into. Did he say
Sneak
coercively?
into community.
Hang on. Did he say coercively or covertly? Because those mean very different
He
things.
might have been covertly.
Okay, that's important because coercively implies coercion. Okay, gotta be
overtly
careful
as in
here.
special ops, as in coercion, which requires convincing mentally in a different way. So he wants to go in. He secretly goes undercover into streamers' communities.
Okay.
Secretly ingratiates himself by like whether it's communicating with them or giving them a little bit of money. If you
Yeah.
remember 3 months ago, I said what happens is these people come into communities and then they
Yeah,
find
no,
people.
I know, but this is obvious. Like this is
So this is what the
what's the
owner
problem?
of progressive.
I understand, but what is the problem?
I mean, it's not a problem. It's just this is what he wants. He wants to take advantage of.
He
the
wants
streaming
to.
community
This is what I'm
to
hearing
grow
from you.
progressive victory, and no matter who it hurts,
I understand. So
or
this
gets
is
fucked. That's
this
all he
is
wants.
okay. So this is what I'm hearing from you. Okay. Brainiac decides, hey, this form of organizing worked for some organizations that seem to have made big waves.
Mm-hmm.
Charlottesville and Steve Bannon, whatever. We should emulate that. I don't see what the problem is unless they're doing something specifically unethical. That seems smart to me. The problem is they can't execute it because they don't know what they're doing. But like the principle of like infiltrating communities and building networks and
Well, wait.
convincing people,
Well, let's go
that's
down that road for a
intelligent. I
second.
don't have a problem with that.
Let's go down that road. They're incompetent and they don't know what they're doing. We both completely agree on that.
Okay.
So that being the case, streamers are getting paid right now.
Yeah.
Potentially, they could get paid to do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Some of those people believe they actually have like a political career now.
Okay.
What happens when they stop getting paid now that they've went on this whole tailspin of burning all their bridges?
I don't know. It's their problem.
That is a problem, though, isn't it?
It's not my problem. If they burnt all of their bridges after they signed a contract, that's a stupid decision, but
Right.
their
And
right to do so.
Okay.
Why does
I
this?
mean,
I'm confused. What is the problem exactly?
well, the fact is, all these people that are doing this, whether they're doing it on purpose and not thinking about what's going to happen,
Who's burnt all their
they're,
bridges?
if they were looking at this like they won the lotto,
Yeah,
nothing would be wrong. But there's a number of these people.
they would be very foolish. But who among them has burnt all of their bridges? What are we talking about?
I mean, do you think Wick's channel is suffering from this?
He's been doing actually pretty well for the last couple of days. He has regular Destiny appearances. Wick's channel suffering is a consequence of his lack of charisma and talent. It has nothing to do with him burning bridges.
Okay. I mean,
like he's got big bridges. He has big people come on. Just nobody likes him.
all right, that's fair. That's fair. That's a nuance I didn't quite have. That's a fair parsing of that. I think that's about it. Like, I wanted to know if I said that a plurality of the community that didn't sign up with Progressive Victory was aware that people had signed up for Progressive Victory. Would I say by November there was a plurality, would I be wrong?
I'm not sure I understand like a plurality of people who had signed up with Progressive Victory?
No, that didn't sign up, but knew people had signed up and were doing it.
I would expect so.
Okay. All right. So
why does that matter, though?
Well, there were people without NDAs that were not addressing the rumors when they came up either. They were saying.
But why would they have a reason to? What rumors? What are you talking about?
I mean, I don't have a specific. It's not important to.
Well, it's important to me. What rumors were they keeping to themselves? I don't understand.
Well, I remember all the way back in December when I spoke to Kid and I explained all this, and he repeated it, but then called it a conspiracy in the same way he called it a conspiracy.
Okay, but what
a few days ago, and the way he called it a conspiracy after me showing him not disclosing to his community.
Okay, but
what is he
calling a conspiracy?
What is he calling a conspiracy? Nothing. Oh, he's calling that I believe this is bigger than streamers, that it's not illegal for streamers to get paid to go to a free meeting.
Well, what's the bigger dimension to this?
Well, the benefit to the PAC and why they're doing it.
Do you mean the benefit to the PAC's like employees and management? Like I don't know what you're talking about. Like yeah, obviously, like there's always a conflict of interest in any political organization, in that the people who manage the organization have their own self-interest, and the organization itself has its own self-interest apart from the political things it's aiming for. But that's every political organization. That's not a conspiracy. That's life.
Well, okay, so let's say it's not a conspiracy and everything is normal. How is looking into Progressive Victory an attack on the people that are doing it?
I don't think it is intrinsically.
Well, why do they think it is?
Have they said they think looking into Progressive Victory is an attack on the organization? I haven't been
not on the organization, on them.
Well, if
you were attacking them by questioning them about Progressive Victory. You don't remember that?
Well, I mean, if you're referring to people, for example, like questioning Wick in particular's usefulness to the organization, and then going after him for apparently like not, using the money he raised for his dental procedure toward that end, over like a year, those are personal attacks against Wick, right? But that's not a personal attack against Wick by dint of it being an attack on the organization. That's attacks on Wick that are couched in attacks on the organization. They're still separate.
When Wick recently agreed I should be disclosing more, right?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why should he disclose more? Why was everybody pressing him to disclose more?
I think
you were doing it. Why were you doing it?
I actually wasn't really doing it to get him to disclose more. I was just confused as to why Progressive Victory was paying useless people. And I was asking rhetorically because I already know why they were paying useless people. They're paying useless people because those useless people weren't useless. They're just useless for Progressive Victory. They're very useful for people like Wu to build up an online friend group. I
Well,
wasn't
now the woo's
I wasn't
gone.
asking him to disclose his finance. Like I was curious about how much he was making because other people were
I
curious.
don't mean his financing. I mean, he's now disclosing
Then what
that
else?
regularly. He said, I should have done more disclosure. What? Why? Why should he have done more disclosure?
Because I think he's an agreeable idiot and he was responding with the kind of thing that he thought the people who were challenging him wanted to hear. But I don't think that's a relevant question. I don't think the issue is that Wick was being secretive about, super sinister information that he had. That's never been my line of approach to this.
It didn't have to be sinister. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you can do dumb, wrong shit without it being some nefarious plan.
Sure, but the dumb wrong shit, as far as I see it, is literally just Wick himself being paid. I don't see what else there is to talk about there.
Okay.
Like, what else is there for him to disclose? Don't say you don't know. If you don't know, you're
If you've got
in George
five
Norrie
people on a
territory.
panel,
Yeah.
if you have 5 people on a panel and you guys are all actually one team doing a LARP,
Yeah.
shouldn't people know that?
Yeah, it'd be nice if they did.
These people are just fucking LARPing.
No, it means Wick's a shit biased moderator. But we know
No,
this.
NSC it's not just Wick. They just did a thing
Yeah.
about Progressive Victory with like
Yeah.
5 people from Progressive
Yeah.
Victory
Progressive
acting
Victory
like
had a.
volunteers and not paid people.
Well, they aren't paid to go to Ohio, right?
They're paid to sit silently at a meeting.
At meetings,
right.
yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Not except if you can't afford to get there, Brianna Wu's going to pay for you to get there.
Sure. Cool. What's the problem with that?
Well, that's not about a meeting. That's about getting.
Well,
paid,
that's not getting paid by PV though. That's Brianna Wu paying your ride as a courtesy.
No, you're wrong. You're actually wrong because.
Am I?
Yeah, if you like, okay, when I worked as a car salesperson, let's say,
Yeah.
right, if Ford gives me a trip,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a free trip,
Yeah.
it's not free because there's a value to it, and so by being a contractor specifically, if there's a value, they have to tax me for it. They don't charge me for the thing, but they have to tax me at my tax rate for the gift. So if these people
So
are 1099 contractors,
do you not think it's possible that Brianna Wu just paid for his ticket and then paid the taxes on that?
well, what about the house and the food and the residences, the places they're staying? How much is it?
I would assume the same thing. Like Brianna Wu is perfectly entitled to take money out of her pocket and pay
I'm
for
not
a
saying
hotel
it's
room and a
illegal,
plane
dude.
ticket.
I'm not. Look,
Then I don't
not,
care. What's the scandal then?
Okay. I mean, the lack of curiosity blows my mind. That.
But this is meaningless. Like let's assume that you established like Brianna Wu paid for Wick's flight and hotel room, and you know what? She even paid for him to get a foot massage while he was there. So what?
Okay, so just the community I'm looking at, right? You've got a dozen streamers, not a dozen streamers making the claim, which we know is not true. It's just the excuse. They're making an excuse, which is the claim that they're getting paid to go sit silently at a meeting or go to a meeting, or they're getting paid for their value at a meeting. These are all the different claims. And there's a dozen of them. And we know it's not true, and they're all like LARPing in the community. Okay, we have that on one side. We have that on one side. And we have tomfoolery lying and looking at fucking ogling some women. And
okay.
It's more curious to spend a week on Tom, and that's not illegal. So who should care? But you have all these LARPs going on that the community doesn't know about, and that's less. That's something.
But it's all.
To say,
But this stuff is all on stream though. The community does know about it, right?
Okay, so like in November, what percentage of the community of viewers in November? What percentage of viewers knew there were a half a dozen streamers involved with Progressive Victory for pay?
I don't know. I don't know.
So the fact that everybody knows now, why didn't they know back then? Why didn't they know in December? Why didn't they know in January?
I don't. It's not clear to me that they are required to know.
They're not required to know.
What's the issue with them not knowing?
Okay? So let's just say I'm a chatter.
Like what do I lose?
Let's say I'm
from
a
not
chatter.
knowing that Wick works with Progressive Victory.
Let's say I'm a chatter.
Okay.
And I'm watching Wick. And I donate to Wick because of the representation of something, like whatever. I'm not just giving it because I love Wick. I'm giving it for some reason.
Yeah.
Now, some of those motivations are based on that they feel they're giving money to somebody that's actually representing a point, whether that be NSE or anybody, any of the dozen that are involved. Take it away from Wick.
Mm-hmm.
And you got 5 people on a panel, and you got 5 different audiences that are simultaneously being manipulated by 5 different people. And the goal of that manipulation is to get people to join Progressive Victory for the benefit of Progressive Victory. As per the owner of Progressive Victory.
Hang on. The goal of the manipulation by those streamers is to get people to join Progressive Victory?
That's the mission statement of Progressive Victory on their website.
Hang on. So just to be clear, so the scandal here is that people are not aware that Wick is using his Machiavellian powers to get people to join Progressive Victory.
Okay, what about the other 11?
The other 11, what, percent? What are you talking about?
No, the other 11 that
streamers
are doing exactly the same thing to their communities.
What about them? So
they're recruiting for an organization. That's their function.
Sure, but recruiting.
And the viewers don't know they're being recruited by paid shills. They're not promoting Progressive Victory because it's a good thing for somebody to spend their time doing. You yourself say it's a waste of time, right?
No, it's a waste of money. Canvassing is not a waste of time. It's a bit of a Hail Mary, but it seems to. There are some correlations in studies that say it does a between 1% and 5% difference.
So based on this thing in Ohio, Progressive Victory is a success, right?
I have no idea. I haven't followed it.
Well, wait.
I'm not.
How do we know
it's
useless? How do we know it's useless if it's leading to actual activity in the real world?
Well, it's useless because the increase in participation in these canvassing events is not due to people like Wick. Now, it may be due to people like Lonerbox, and maybe due to people like Destiny, it may be due, probably not so erudite, let's be honest, but it may be due to people like IRI and so on and so forth. Maybe Dylan Burns, like those people have fans,
would any of their community members want to go canvass just to hang out with them, and it's not really about the canvassing?
Probably. But I mean, like, my argument for this is, like, I suspect, especially given Destiny's growth, he could very well be accounting for all of them by his involvement. That's actually the explicit purpose of having streamers on, but they've been explicit about this.
I thought they separated and they're not commingling their organizations at the moment.
Whether or not they're being paid, they have been very upfront about the fact that they're endorsing Progressive Victory. That being the case, whether it's for political or...
You say they. Who's they?
The streamers who are currently involved with it.
Who are they?
Josiah, IRI, Dylan Burns. I don't actually know if Destiny's contracted with them. Wick.
So we don't even know who they are. We don't even.
I don't know them off the top of my head now.
We don't even know. We don't even know who's paid and who's. Okay.
I mean, if I ask them right now, like, here, let me call up Blake and let's see.
Well, the community doesn't know if you don't know, right?
Well, I haven't.
If you don't know who they are, the community doesn't have the list either, right? They don't know.
I mean,
But who cares? Why should that matter?
That's the question.
Fuck the chatters, right? Fuck them.
Chatters aren't even all from this country, sir. Like, I don't think people, for example...
Well, neither is Keffels or Erudite. They're not from the country either.
That's correct, yeah. But the point is...
So what's that got to do with it?
Well, the point is that chatters are not Americans who are owed transparency with respect to their election. There are going to be some Americans in there. But so long as they're being...
It's the content, not the election.
Sorry?
They're paying for the content.
But they aren't paying for the content.
So chatters aren't paying because of the content. What are they paying for?
They're donating. They're not paying for anything.
Not because of the content. They just like you. You could sit there and not stream and they would donate to you, just like a Progressive Victory meeting.
That's an excellent question. Chat, would you donate to me just because you like me?
Okay, now let me interrupt, because for the last 3 weeks, I want to make very clear something. Just because I'm asking these questions, I want to be very.
I feel like PV owes me lawyer fees right now.
Wait. So I want to tell you, for the last 3 weeks,
okay,
because of the work you and Kuhlman have been doing, I always discourage anybody that watches me, don't give me money, don't sub. But if you like what we're doing, go give President Sunday and Kuhlman money, because they're doing the work.
That's very kind of you.
I just want you to know that I do fully appreciate the work you've been doing. There is no shot that the things that have been made public would have ever happened if it wasn't for you embarrassing the fuck out of Connor and Wick.
I think when people donate, what they are paying for ultimately, their transaction is with YouTube, and what they're paying for is to have their message in bold. The personal reasons why they're putting money in there may be to support the streamer, it may be to boost the priority of the message, but fundamentally, that's an engagement between them and the site. It's not actually an engagement between them and me. And I love you too, Taco Face Fart. Thank you for the $2. See? So for example, just as this one.
I'm experiencing the weaponized autism at the moment. This is phenomenal. I didn't think I would get this live.
So I'm not autistic. My mother had me checked. So Taco donated $2, right? Now, YouTube takes roughly a 30% cut of that. It might be a bit more now. I'm actually not sure what the total number is. But YouTube takes a cut because I am entitled to a portion of that, but that is fundamentally not a transaction with me. That's a transaction with YouTube, which I, as part of my contract with YouTube, I get a cut of this. That's part of the terms. But I'm not actually being directly donated to. It's sort of socially understood as a donation to my channel, but that only allocates the direction of that fund. I do not actually see those $2 directly for me. And thank you, Shai Halud, for the $19.99 for the brain damage. Apologies.
I understand the technicality that you're explaining,
Yes.
but I also can give you the exact opposite example.
Okay.
If you hire a real estate company, okay, you're hiring the realtor who's representing the real estate company. You're only hiring the company because of the realtor, but the transaction only happens because of the company. So I would beg to say it's the exact opposite. The people
Well, this would be one of the reasons why
they're actually suffering the money to YouTube because they care about you so much. They love
I'm sure they
President Sunday.
I'm sure they do, but this would be one of the reasons why, for example, a realtor might not be independently liable for, some kind of problem that occurred while they were touring or selling a house or something. I don't know. Right?
Yeah, it's just like, well, I mean, it's the same protection you get from YouTube. You're not going to get sued for a copyright infringement because YouTube protects you. They just take the video down.
Yeah.
It's the same errors and omission insurance that you're going to get from a real estate company. It's the same relationship. In fact, you're the same independent contractor.
With YouTube, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the structure. I mean, there's only so many different.
Well, it's a little bit different than that, but essentially, yeah.
So,
like I don't get registered as an independent contractor on my taxes, for example.
well, you live in some sort of weird back ass country.
No, it's actually it's essentially the same as with the United States, but I think the code's different. I have to re-figure it out every single year. Okay, I'm going to be blunt with you. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't like how Progressive Victory is run. I don't like a lot of the people in it. I don't trust any of them. I think it's an organization run by, for the most part, very
Greedy, selfish,
ignorant, childish people.
Yep.
But there's no conspiracy here. It's just an ordinary organization that just doesn't know how to spend its money properly. But there's nothing illegal. There's nothing below board.
I don't think there's any. I'm not sure. I think there's anything illegal. I can't write that off yet because there's still research to be done, and there's a lot of questions that currently look very bad. But
well, in advance of doing that research, I would tread very lightly with making claims of that sort for a couple of reasons. First of all, what country are you in?
Didn't make
You're
a
in the
claim.
States.
Yep.
Okay, well, I would be very careful nonetheless.
I'm
because accusations of illegal
looks
activity.
like it might be something. Surely passes our laws. Trust me. Like saying this is the law they're breaking and here it is, that would be wrong.
Okay, but if it turns out that ultimately the only thing they've actually violated is what, in your opinion, would be the best way to run things, it could make you look very foolish. And I don't think you want that.
How would it look foolish if I make no claims and it turns out not to be something to worry about? How would that... I've not sat here and said there's anything nefarious or not. There's anything wrong. I don't think it's above board to pretend that you're getting paid to do nothing. There's nothing. There's no. There's no.
Well, they
time
aren't. They aren't pretending to be paid to do nothing. Like the logic would be, they're being paid to attend meetings. That's the mechanism by which they are paid. But then in conjunction with that, they also do things that are beneficial to the org in their view, or at least they have the potential to do so, or they are assumed to do so based upon them being paid for it and based upon them being streamers. And that's it.
One last question. I don't know if you know this.
Okay.
Do they get any money from Progressive Victory as a bonus, as a override, as anything based on the views and the content that they do? Do they get any compensation directly from Progressive Victory based on their content?
I have no idea.
Okay. I mean, there's no, if that's the answer, I believe you completely.
I mean, do you know?
No, I have no idea. I want to know.
How would I know? I don't have a...
I don't know. That's why, I mean, I'm going to ask. I didn't expect
I mean, I would assume not. I would assume they're contracted right out the gate. In fact, I think what Kid Not Kin said was that quite the opposite. PV has the right to essentially clip from or take their content as part of their contract and use it for the channel or whatever. They can kind of farm, like if Wick has a panel on something and it's pertinent to Progressive Victory's goals, they can take clips from that and publish that to their own channel.
And I would assume if they were getting paid for their content, it wouldn't matter anyway.
It wouldn't matter to me particularly, no.
Okay.
It would have to, if it's from the pack, I believe they would have to declare all those expenditures. But
Yeah. All right. Hey, man, I really appreciate you entertaining my nonsense.
No worries. Have a good night. Take care.
All right, take care.
That was weird. What manner of theory is this? This was not theory. This was not theory. Theory God wants no part of this.